All right, I am back on. And again, if somebody just happens to get this notification that we're up online, I cannot see the YouTube page to see your comments. So it is falling on deaf ears. These are just test broadcasts to check with my testing home base staff in Darmstadt, Germany, to make sure that everything is working as it should. So I've made a few adjustments on some resolution items and some bandwidth items, hoping the internet stream, I just checked the speed test, the internet stream seems to be fine in terms of upload, ping rates, all that stuff. The thing that's tripping me up the worst is actually the CPU usage on my end. It was getting very, very high, which is what leads to stutteriness, especially when it comes to video playback. So I'm now retesting this stuff to see if the playback on that side, yeah, I mean CPU usage. So actually, I'll show you. So if I switch over to my handheld camera, we're still setting some stuff up. Is this the right one? Yeah. So if we switch over to, hey, if we switch over to my handheld camera, this is the software, and it shows CPU usage, and it's currently at 80, mid 80s, jumps between 80 to 87. This is not great, but I can live with that. It's okay when it comes to streaming. Where it becomes a problem is when I do video playback and stuff like that. The last test round, it was like high 90s and hitting 100, and that's usually when the real shittiness in terms of stuttering and stuff like that really kicks in. So I'm trying to adjust all my resolutions and whatnot to just minimize just that little bit. You know, if you minimize every camera by just a few pixels, all of a sudden that CPU usage jumps down. So, oh, you're right. Camera did not switch because I screwed up. So anyway, so yeah, so if you look now, our CPU usage is at, oh wow, it's at high 90s, 96%. It had been, up until I went to this camera, in the 80s, which is not great, but okay. But now it's in the low 90s, which is not, again, not great, but not ideal. So basically that's what I'm trying to monitor. And actually that CPU usage goes down as it sticks with the camera. So I'm just slowly moving this camera to kind of see the effect on your end. And I will await your feedback. Tough to say exactly, but in tests from earlier, it seemed like there was anywhere between 20 seconds to 1 minute of delay. So what you're getting from me and what I'm getting back from you takes probably about 2 minutes round trip, anywhere between 1.5 to 2 minutes. Actually, no, what am I saying? It wouldn't be a 2-minute round trip, it would just be a 1 minute round trip. All right. So let's test it. Well, so we'll test the delay, but I will warn you the delay changes every time I hit upload. One minute it'll be 15 seconds. The next time it'll be a minute. It's literally kind of, it depends on when I hit the stream button. So so anyway, all right. Well, let's test the delay just so I have a general idea, but it should be between 20 seconds to a minute. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get my stopwatch going. All right, so I'm gonna, when I hit, okay, so I'll say mark, and then you'll go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Oh, wow. Okay, that was only 12 seconds. That's awesome. Okay, well, that 12 seconds is pretty damn good. That's cool. All right, but again, what I want to know is how is this stutteriness and crap like that as I move this camera around? Stuttery, jittery, look like shit, crazy pixelation, any of that kind of stuff? Seems like everything's good. Also, I changed the audio sampling rate. I went a lot lower Do you notice any difference in the sound quality? Because it is a far, far lower sample rate. I went to, the previous one was at 48K stereo. This is at like 16K mono. It shouldn't. Okay, good. So it's audio quality. Okay, so you're saying you're still having trouble. I think that might actually be the encoding rate, not the actual CPU. So what I'm going to do now. So right now I'm broadcasting at 480p. I'm going to go down to 360 because I kind of don't want to lose. Like, I like having smoothness, and I find that for a live stream, people care less about resolution and they care more about smoothness. So I'm going to drop down from 480 to 360, and I want your opinion as a discerning audience member to tell me: is it any smoother, and do you mind the loss in resolution? Is it even noticeable? So I'm going to cut the stream and come back at the lower res. And we're back. Okay, so I am now encoding at 360 as opposed to I'm not gonna. You filming a monitor and telling me isn't gonna really show me a whole lot. I guess just to know, as an audience member, just in general, does this, what you're looking at now, feel smoother? It is slightly lower resolution from what I was outputting earlier. Do you even notice? And do you care? Because obviously I want to put out decent quality, but ultimately I think smoothness is going to trump resolution, because it's not like anybody's looking for our 4K pit side webcast. Okay, so you are voting to keep the old stream. Okay. We're giving you more movement, more movement. I'm a talking person. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a talking person. Blah, 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 blah. Talking person, talking person, talking person, talking person. I am talking. That's Keeley. Loading boxes, making toys. Right? Good job. And we're still talking and we're still testing. So this is, again, this is 360p. So use this as your baseline. And then we will jump up to 480. Okay, so smoothness is not better than before. One guy in the comments agrees. Okay, so again, for anybody seeing this on YouTube that happens just to see it because of a notification or anything, I do not have my YouTube page up to see any comments. I've got a friend who is giving me some feedback as well, so she's going to. So Daniela, if you don't mind, give me the feedback that comes from the comment. Don't send me images because I can't deal with that right now. Just text me back what people say if they agree with you. So okay, so everybody's of the same opinion that dropping the resolution didn't really help the smoothness at all. It just made it look shittier. And it seems like everybody's on the same page with that. So all right, once again, I am gonna drop this signal. I'll be back in 30 seconds, back to the 480 resolution, which will be higher. And let's see if that makes any difference. But it seems like the vote is to go for the higher resolution because it looks a little bit better, and it doesn't really make the jitteriness and stutteriness any worse. But again, Danielle, if you can give me whatever feedback is on camera movement. Again, the majority of the shot will be here, people talking, doing stuff, saying stuff, blah, blah, blah. Right, Keeley? Right. So. All right, we're back trying the 480 setting and seeing how you like this instead. Also, for you video types, what on the YouTube encode, what is it showing for aspect ratio? Is this 16:9 for you or 4:3? It should be 16:9. If it's 4:3, I may just stick with that and then lower the resolution on some of the cameras so that I can put less processing power on my CPU. But anyway, I will wait for feedback. Once again, we're keeping the camera moving. That is Keeley loading, basically doing my job, making toys, loading toys up. Because we have a shit ton of stuff we're still setting up. I slept about 3-4 hours, up at 6, here by 7, and this is the effect. So we have cameras everywhere. All right, Daniela's feedback is you need to measure aspect ratio. Yeah, that's how I know you don't do video for a living, because it's I instantly can notice 4:3 versus 16:9. And again, Daniela, if you can feedback any YouTube comments, because I obviously don't have that up right now. So anyway, by the way, I'm excited. This is I hope the greatest thing I've ever purchased. We bought these. So we have 2 of them. Actually, I'm open to ideas for you on the YouTube page. We have 2 of these. This one is for Spencer. Now, you guys, I don't know how well people know Spencer. He's a cool dude, but Spencer, of the sort of the circles that we hang out with, he's the old man of the group who's happy to correct you and tell that you're wrong about stuff. I have never had a man correct me on my grammar as much as Spencer. So what Spencer doesn't know is that this is me keeping tabs on every time he corrects me. So we'll see how far he notices, or how far we can go before he starts commenting on why we're keeping tags. My guess is I'll be over 30 by the time the 24 is over, that he will at least have corrected me 30 plus times on poor grammar. He is of the opinion I speak like a redneck, which I do not pretend that my grammar is perfect, but seeing as I grew up in San Francisco and now LA, redneck's a little bit of a stretch. Okay, so it is 16:9 based on everything you're saying, which is good. Okay, that's how it should be. Okay, but okay, so that's all healthy. But again, what I'm more concerned with than anything is the smoothness and stutteriness and all that shite. So as I move back and forth, I just want to know, as I talk, is it what are the problems? Is it stuttering, or does it just sort of get a little bit pixelated as the camera moves around and tries to figure out colors and stuff like that? So that's the kind of feedback I could really use right now. So if anybody has anything to say about that, I can appreciate it. Is that my honey? Yes. This is the most important thing right here, is the loading of the monsters. I bought those myself. And oh, that's our tire, guys. With our first set of tires, we got some Rains, as you just always have, and then way down there are some slicks. That is Steve. He is new to the team, but not new to the sport. That's a Bell. Oh, I need to move this monitor because that sucks. Say hi, Abel. Don't say hi. Abel doesn't speak English. That's just a racist joke, by the way. Okay, so we're not getting stuttering, the resolution and pixelation. All right, this is obviously judgment calls more so than true technical fact. But on the notes, as far as resolution and pixelation, as audience members, can you deal with it, I guess? Because I not knowing what you're seeing and kind of knowing the limitations I have on my end, basically it helps me decide when I use different camera angles, because if it's if me going handheld and moving around quite a bit makes it painful to watch, then that's good to know to maybe not do that so much. So everybody, so Daniela, your feedback is it's totally fine. If my YouTube commenters agree, then that helps me. So if that's the feedback, the other thing I want to try out is, so you're seeing the handheld camera. Now that we have more guys in the pit area, let me go to I want to go to a static camera where people are moving, and I want to know how does the resolution and adjustments and all that, how does that work, or how does that look when we're on a fixed camera but with moving people within it. So, all right, so back to me talking. Yeah, this will obviously be, it won't be handheld, it'll be a fixed camera, but if I try and hold it smooth, this will obviously be one of the more predominant camera angles-ish. I don't have my little setup for it to be a fixed angle yet. But if we assume that this is generally what you're going to be looking at quite a bit, minus the ugly face, me talking, mouth moving, things like that, does it present any resolution issues? Does it have a hard time kind of caching and keeping up, things like that? So I'm moving my hand a lot. I'm playing with puppets. I have Spencer here with another microphone, talking, things like that. Okay. Okay, so let's try and make this camera fixed for sort of the host and cam. This is not going to be the permanent angle, but let's just try some shit. All right, so if we assume that this is generally the angle that we're going to be speaking with, let me know how this works. So we're not shaking. It's just a static cam and a guy talking. We would move over here, and Spencer would be here talking as well. Blah bitty blah bitty blah. Blah bitty blah bitty blah. I'm Spencer. I'm better than everybody. That's I'm correcting grammar. I'm correcting grammar again. And again. And more grammar. All right, take it back. All right, what's our feedback? Well, okay, the lighting is an issue. Commentary, apparently, that's just what it's gonna be. I can't fix that. You know, we have the sides open on the tent, and so a lot of lighting comes in. So for some reason, the guys aren't done building the fucking studio. So I guess we're just gonna have to live with that. Yeah, so as far as other chairs and stuff, so right now I'm not too worried about chairs and angles. I'm right now primarily concerned with the very basic technical aspects of, is it encoding properly? Is the resolution and frame rate and stuff like that all working? Things like angles and putting people in different chairs, I can work on that later. Right now I just want to get through the first hurdle of understanding that the stream is up, it's working, the resolutions are good, the specific settings that I have that I'm encoding are the ones to stick with. So that's the stuff I'm trying to get it for right now. So let me know if all that stuff is good. And again, let's move to some angles now that we've got some more people. And if Danielle, is it just one other person there with you on the chat? And can you shoot me what the name is in case I know them? So that's Steve Taft. That's another fixed angle. Again, this is just to sort of get a sense of what our fixed angle shots are going to look like and how the resolutions are. You might be seeing some auto focusing and auto adjusting. That's just what the webcam does. There's nothing I can do. That is Steve Taft. He's a So, all right, so we're looking at this angle. So that's Steve Taft that you're looking at on the timing stand. He's a retired IBM employee who has been with the team forever. Stopped working for the team a year and a half ago, and then decided to come back for this race because we could use a little bit of help. So it's great to have him. He's one of my favorite people on the team. You'll see some activity going on behind him. The guy in the back is just a weekend hire. I hate to sound rude. I don't know who that is. There's a guy in a white shirt next to him. That is Thad doing Thad-like things. And Double Romp says that I don't know him. So I don't. Cool. And okay, so Daniela and Mr. the Romp, as you see somebody like Steve moving around, because that camera is fixed, does his movement create any weird issues in terms of stutteriness as he moves more? Does the pixelation increase, things like that? Um, and again, for sort of a live web stream, especially considering it's Magnus, it's supposed to be fun. Does this 480p resolution bother anybody? It's kind of about as good as I want to push it, because when we start going to higher resolutions, we get into trouble with things like frame rates, CPU usage, things like that. Yep. So the autofocus comment, you are accurate, but that is unfortunately that's beyond my control. That is the webcam itself. I also suspect that when there'll be 4 to 5 guys on that bench at any one time. I have a feeling when we have 4 or 5 guys, so the motion is a little bit more fluid, that the autofocus won't struggle. I think it's because you have one main object moving around in dramatic ways that the autofocus is struggling. Notice now that he's sitting there and kind of more still, that the autofocus isn't fucking up as much. So I have a feeling during the race this won't be an issue. And even if it is, like, I hate to be this resigned, but there's nothing I can do about that. So right now I'm just trying to worry about the things that I can control. So view is good, it's just overexposed. Yeah, unfortunately, like, we got some little bit of cloud cover, actually quite a bit of cloud cover, which, funny enough, when you're in a tent like this, it actually makes the whole tent a little bit more overexposed because everything here is so white. But also on the overexposure thing, I know what I'm seeing from my end, which is obviously not what you're seeing on YouTube, so I don't know what it looks like when it compresses down and re-encodes out. Does Steve and the bench area that he's around look overexposed? Because basically that shot's going to be occupied with 4 to 5 guys, and they're going to be blocking out that giant white background that's behind you. So I have a feeling the overexposure on this angle won't be so bad once it fills out with people. Like you can see Steve clearly. Okay, so yeah, the cart. So yeah, the overexposure on the cart and the white walls and Thad behind him. Yeah, those are. I expect that. I suspect that won't really be an issue once the race gets going, because the shot will be more occupied with people. The other thing is the sun. I mean, granted, we're under heavy cloud cover right now, but the sun after about 12 will be on the other side of this tent. So that I don't think will be a thing. If anything, it'll actually start to really peek in on my side of the tent. It's kind of hard to explain. Where I'm sitting is basically, if you look at the table, there was a hospitality girl to the right of the screen who was setting up. I am to the right of there. So, all right. All right, still running through here. So, okay, you guys were saying there was some I guess you can't really test sync because you can't see me. Let me go back to sync issues. Daniela, you were saying you had no sync issues. Double romp was 3 minutes later. Now that we're looking at me talking again, it's so hard to decipher notes that are on the user end versus my end. So can one or both of you confirm sync, non-sync, and that'll kind of help me figure out. I don't know if there's really much I can do about it, but again, I really turned down the sampling rate in the hopes of improving things, and that's what I got. So if you guys report that the sync is okay, then I'm going to shut this down and go back to work on polishing this stuff up, but at least the basics are in place. All right, Daniela says, okay, so audio sync is good on your end. All right, I'm going to say we have a working stream. Obviously, yeah, there's always things like lighting and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we're dealing with webcams in very mixed lighting conditions, so that's going to be that. So, all right, I'm going to shut down and set this all up. Now, in theory, The link that you're seeing this at right now will not be the link during the race. There is somewhere on our YouTube page, there's actually an event listed that starts at sorry, got distracted for a second. Daniela is telling me that Double Rump is seeing some green bands going across the screen or over the feed. I guess if there's a second person on the comment section, let me know if you are or are not seeing that. Again, I can't read the comments, but I have Danielle out there who is watching this and giving feedback to me. Again, it's hard to decipher notes to know what's on one person's end versus collective. So if anyone else is seeing a green band, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to kill it. Yeah, it seems like the biggest complaint I'm getting is the slight pixelation in motion, and of course the overexposure of the shot, which is part time of day, part the fact that it's webcams, and that's also the thing I'm just not going to worry about because I can't do anything about that. Maybe I'll give the screens a little once over with Kleenex, but you know, overexposure is overexposure. I can't do that with cameras that have no adjustability to them. So, all right. Let's see. So I'll stay on for a minute in case our second YouTube commenter has anything to say about the mystery green bands that are occasionally popping up. I'm of the opinion that's likely on user end, but I don't actually know that. Somebody's saying there will be Audi camera. Yes, there will be. Copy. Let's see. It sounds like the overexposure thing was setting off the bands. Yes, there will be there's an Audi camera on our roof, and that is paid for, I believe, by Audi. I don't know. Hey Daniela, real quick, did that person saying Audi has a camera on the top of the roof? Was Audi in their handle, or did they say they were from Audi? Hold on one second. All right. Let's go back. What does Daniela have to say? Oh, the username is Sport Audi Video. Okay, cool. Yes. Well, there is. So Sport Audi Video is correct. We do have an overhead camera. That will be streaming. I don't know if it's actually, maybe that person can tell me. I have no clue what Audi's intentions are as far as whether that's going to exist online or anything like that. It's obviously going to be featured in the Fox Sports broadcast when appropriate, but I do not know any intentions on whether that's available for 24 hours or anything like that. I apologize. I don't know anything. So. Oh, actually, here's a question. Before I cut out, so Thad, now that he's in the covered area on the timing stand, he's wearing a white shirt. Obviously, his movement is screwing up the autofocus, but Thad in a white shirt, but in a more shaded area as opposed to out where he was by the fuel. How is that white shirt in that area doing for you guys? On my end, it looks like it's okay. It's not peaking too badly. But I'm curious what your feedback is. Most of the apparel that the guys will be wearing up there should be black. There will be the white driver's suits, but otherwise, oh, no, that looks like it might be overexposed. But most of the guys will be wearing black, so I don't imagine it'll be too much of an issue. So, all right, I think I'm going to cut off. Really, really appreciate everybody's feedback. Stay tuned. Again, like I was saying before I got distracted, this will not be the link for the actual stream. I've created an event on YouTube. If you go onto the Magnus Racing YouTube page, it'll also be embedded into magnusracing.com. That, in theory, is where you will find the actual Magnus stream. Also, it will be routinely posted on Facebook and Twitter, so you can always find the link and that's that. So for whoever's watching, even if you're not on our comments, please tune in for as much as you can. We will have contests and prizes and all kinds of stupid antics. Also, really encourage everybody to get in the chat room, have conversations, keep us entertained. 24 hours of talking is very hard, and the more stuff you give to us in terms of questions and thoughts and comments gives us something to interact with. It's a real treat that we're going to have Spencer with us because Spencer is very funny, very, very smart guy, but he's also a winner of this race twice. He's going to by far be the most knowledgeable co-host I've ever had. So he's gonna be able to provide a level of insight from a guy who's driven. I mean, Spencer's pretty awesome. He's not he you know he's got 2 watches from driving, but also last year's win for Allegra in the GTD category. Spencer was actually the strategist on that car, so he's got a win there. He ran his own team when he was getting started, so he knows about team management, about running a company into the ground. I mean, he knows all the stuff. I mean, that dude knows almost every angle of this business. Including apparently fucking grammar. So so it's a real treat that we're gonna have him. So so awesome. Anyway, all right, I'm going to so that's that. Again, come back. We're gonna try and be on around 2:30. Probably hopefully we'll be on a little earlier than that actually, but officially at 2:30. As you know, this is not a perfect science. It's just one guy doing the job of 15, and so things don't always work as smooth as they should, nor as on time as they should, but we'll do our best. So, all right, thank you, everybody. Enjoy.